We appreciate you watching and listening to The Dead Jeff Show. Please like and subscribe and tune in for more videos.
You feel vindicated, Luke, reading some of those comments?
No, I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. My pick is my pick. I pick Miami. Does not matter if everyone is against me. That's just my pick. And I think Miami's going to win. And I still think Miami's going to win. Even if all the comments were against me. Don't care.
Yeah, we don't really care what people say either from that standpoint. We were just shocked by the polarization of there's no way Miami's going to win. Oh, there's no way Ohio State's going to win. It's just like, come on, guys. But I get that. You make your predictions, and the thing is, we move forward. No one goes back to check all the predictions we made, to check our record. It might be a fun thing we should do to see what's happened.
Let's not do that.
It's a great day to be alive on the Dead Jeff Show. Come on in, everybody. I'm Jeff. He's Nick. That's the Maestro, Luke. We're in our post-Christmas haze, the week before New Year's. So we're having a lot of fun. Hope you're enjoying the time with your family. Now, we are recording this on Sunday evening. Buffalo and Philly still playing. We got the Niners and Bears later tonight. But before we get into all of that, guys, how was your Christmas? Did you enjoy it? I was with Luke on Christmas, but Nick, how was your Christmas?
Yeah, man, it was good. Went over to my mom's house. Had a really good time. We had celebrated Christmas the weekend before with Kyle's parents, the in-laws. So, just had a really good holiday. It's been a good year. It's always a good time to start kind of getting into your little reflection and your Spotify wraps and all the good end of the year type stuff. Man, had a blast. Was really fortunate to spend a lot of quality time with the family, and got some pretty cool stuff. So that never hurts.
Yeah, that's always good. I'm wearing one of my gifts that my oldest daughter Emma made me. Dallas Cowboys analyst. There's really nothing to analyze this week, but hey, it's a cool shirt made by my oldest daughter Emma. Thank you, Emma. She also got me a Dead Jeff Show hoodie, so I'm looking forward to wearing that. Luke, how was your Christmas, brother?
It was pretty good. I got a new laptop that I'm using right now, so if there's any tech issues, blame it on the new laptop, I guess.
It's the Grinch. Yeah.
Yeah, I got some good gifts. Ate some good food. I'm curious to see or to hear what Nick's Spotify rap was, like some of the stats he got from
That's
that.
a good question. What is he listening to? That's a good question.
So I guess there's two kind of things that stick out big. One of which is I had 2,100 artists, which is a lot of artists compared to everyone else I've asked.
Yeah.
I fancy myself being a little bit of a all over the map kind of guy, and very, very new, but very prominently into, some Christian artists and Christian music coming into the end of the year.
Nice.
So that really shot up the list a lot. But the other thing, so 2,100 and some odd number of artists. And clearly I listened to a whole lot of Eminem because I'm 0.02. So I was like number 38,000 in terms of Eminem listeners. So I probably got to dial that back just a little bit. It might be overdoing it with the Eminem, just a little.
Sounds like it. Maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, but those are the two big ones.
Hey, I'm curious. Did you guys watch Stranger Things on Christmas night?
I have not watched Stranger Things since season 1.
Oh, what a party pooper. Nick is the official party pooper.
Yeah.
Look, I know we watched it. We watched the episodes. I think, Luke, you watched them all, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. So I guess we can't really talk about that because Nick has nothing to talk about. He can't contribute to that conversation. So maybe he's, all that Eminem you're listening to, maybe you could set aside some time to watch Stranger Things.
Nick, what was your average your listening age that they gave you?
42.
42.
And you are how old?
37.
Well, it could be worse. I'm 26 and mine they gave me was 56.
Jeez.
Sounds like your old man. You're too much like your old
Wow.
man. What's going on there, huh?
My top artist was Keith Whitley.
Oh, the new
Legend.
country phase of Luke. Luke's
Yeah.
going through a country phase.
Well, my number 2 artist was Justin Bieber, so
Wait a
then
minute, you got
followed
56
by
year man, you must have some really old stuff in there if Bieber's not
well,
offsetting the
yeah, it's Keith Whitley, Justin Bieber, Ronnie Millsap, Randy Travis, George Strait. So
Oh, okay.
Nick, do you know any of those people?
I know Randy Travis and I know George Strait. Obviously, I know Bieber. I don't know Whitley.
You don't know you don't know Ronnie Millsap?
Don't know either of those guys.
Oh.
Don't know a single song.
All right.
I will say
Keith Whitley's
the
so
nice thing
good.
for me in my country, probably toward the last half of this year too, is all the, and this is all mainstream, so don't come at me in the comments, but like all the big songs from the last like decade, I only heard Chris Stapleton for their first time like in April. So
Oh my goodness.
like I get to hear all this stuff for the first time. I got a lot of music to get through
Well, you just said you had 2,100 artists in your Spotify
this
Wrapped,
year.
but
Yeah.
but none of them are old school country, I guess. And
No,
we'll have to get you hip to that because, like you, I've listened to a lot of different music, and I raised Luke right. I raised him up on old school R&B and hip hop, and a little bit of old school country, and so that's why he's listening to Keith Whitley now. I introduced Luke to Keith Whitley, I think, this year. So that was a late ad for Luke, but I like all the stuff. Sinatra. I've been listening to jazz lately. Just it really calms me down. But yeah, I'm very eclectic with hip hop to crooners to country to Def Leppard to all of it. Yeah, that's I didn't look at the Spotify Wrapped, but I was too busy watching Stranger Things to do that, I guess. But anyway, lots of eclectic music on my behalf. Luke, who else was on your list besides Keith Whitley and Justin Bieber?
Like, you want me to repeat?
Well, they just give you the top 5. Yeah, they only give you the 5.
Oh yeah. They only give me the top 5.
Yeah,
which
so
was
he named the
Ronnie
5.
Millsap.
Yeah.
Oh, did
Yeah,
you?
was
Okay, my
Ronnie
bad.
Millsap.
I was
George
too busy
Strait.
watching Buffalo score, and then they took the score away.
Yeah,
So-
I was looking at that.
I was distracted a little bit. But anyway, hey, so great Christmas. Sounds like everybody had a great Christmas. We had everybody under one roof. It was nice. Nobody got in a fight. That was special because that usually doesn't happen. Somebody gets into a little bit of an argument. We didn't have that. Although we didn't go see a movie yet. Normally we go see a
I did.
movie. I guess they did. Yeah.
I went to see SpongeBob.
Nice.
Yeah.
SpongeBob was funny.
Nice.
His lucky break.
Yeah.
Now,
My lucky break.
Luke's music taste is 56 years old, but his movie taste is 12.
No, it's younger. It's probably like 7-year-old.
Yeah. So I didn't get to go see a movie. We were talking about Avatar, but I didn't have 4 days to watch it, so
Yeah.
I just we didn't go see it. So who knows? And I think Olivia went to see a movie too. So we didn't go as a family, which is a little bit of our traditions. And I think the best thing that we have as a tradition is that we don't have any traditions. So
Well, the McDonald's tradition, but that sort of ended.
no, I got to tell that story. So one year, we were going to Lake Point Church out in Rockwall and the Christmas Eve service, and my wife says, "Hey, but let's go to the 6:00 service this year." And I'm like, "Hey, are you sure they have a 6:00 service? That seems kind of late." No, they do. No, I saw it online. Okay, all right. And we're driving from South Lake, right? No, we were still in Rockwall. And so we drive and turn in the parking lot. There's not one car in the parking lot. And I'm like, uh-oh, something's wrong here. Well, their latest, I guess, was at 4 that year. And 6:00, there was nobody in the building. So we missed church. So that broke that tradition that we did church every year. So we went through the drive-thru at McDonald's and ate on the way home. And that became a tradition that we did. We would go through the drive-thru at McDonald's on Christmas Eve coming back home from church. So, but you can't ever tell your wife that, hey, no, you're wrong. There isn't a service. So we all just laughed about it, went to McDonald's, and the funniest thing is my wife hates McDonald's. So I guess that was her punishment for not getting
Yeah.
the church time right. But that's the only real traditions we have. We used to have, hey, let's go buy an ornament on Christmas Eve for everybody and hang it on the tree. and we stopped doing that after they got grown. But looks like Buffalo just scored on 4th and goal.
Going
Yep,
for
he
two.
just scored.
So we'll keep you updated as we go here, even though when you're listening to this, you probably already know what happened. So, but anyway, not a lot of traditions that we've been able to keep. It's kind of like New Year's resolutions, I guess, with our family. It's like, let's come up with a tradition. Let's break the tradition. So I wish we had more, honestly. But maybe the tradition is we don't have any traditions. And Buffalo's going for 2 to win the game.
Yep.
So let's see if they get it. But hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas. Christmas. I sound like Mike Tyson. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I hope you had a Merry Christmas with you and your family. And I don't know what you guys do between Christmas and New Year's. We're not big New Year's Eve people. I don't drink much. We don't go to a lot of parties. Plus, I'm old, so about 10 o'clock, I start wishing it was New Year's already. I don't make it to midnight hardly anymore. But yeah, tell us if you have any traditions in the comments. Let us know what you guys did over the Christmas holiday. One thing we did know that happened on Christmas is the Cowboys got a win. It's a little too late, right? And we're going to get into the Cowboys win. I just want to run down what else we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about potential draft picks. I think right now where the Cowboys would land if the draft started today. We're going to look at the NFL playoff picture, which is a bunch of wackiness going on. Steelers don't want to win the division, and neither do the Ravens. You've got the same thing happening on the other side of it, and Buffalo did not get the 2-point conversion, so they're going to lose. You got the Bucs and Panthers. Neither one of those teams want to win the division, so we'll talk about that. We're going to get into the Pro Bowl was announced. The Pro Bowl people were announced. We'll get into that, see if there's any snubs. Does anybody care about the Pro Bowl anymore? Then we have Nick's picks, Maestro through the news, and what's killing Jeff. So let's kick it off, guys. Let's talk about briefly the Cowboys Commanders on Christmas Day. Kind of unusual that we have football on Christmas Day and basketball on Christmas Day. So give me your initial reactions and thoughts to the Cowboys Commanders. We don't need to stay on it long because it doesn't matter. But let me know what you thought about the Commanders versus Cowboys.
Kind of ho-hum, right? I think, a validation of everything I pretty much knew to be true. Offense is just almost otherworldly dynamic at this point. They just can beat you so many ways, even when guys don't look. Javonte Williams obviously got banged up. Didn't really seem to hurt him too much. Now, the Commanders' defense being what it is, but look, Dan Quinn knows this offense and should have them as prepared as they possibly can be to go against the Cowboys' offense. And yet, it's all kind of always feels like somebody's going to step up and make a play. Is obviously Kevontae Turpin had the big, the 85-yarder, 88-yarder, whatever it was. Davis comes in and looks pretty solid. No, obviously Javonte Williams tank, but didn't lose much with Davis. And then the defense, it looked okay, I guess, but Josh Johnson playing quarterback, and no disrespect to that guy, but it ain't Daniels, it ain't some of these other guys. So just the validation of everything I kind of knew to be true. Dynamic offense, suspect defense. It seems like they're trying really, really hard to get to 500. As much as you can be 500 with the 17-game schedule, leave it to the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think one thing you said about Javonte, he is a little banged up, so we'll give him a little bit of a pass on this game. I think you take away the 85-yard touchdown or whatever it was to Turpin, and Dak was a little pedestrian. I think his completion percentage was around 50%, which is really low for him. Mm-hmm. Didn't have a great game. I think that they get 4 or 5 sacks on Dak. Yeah. And he took hits a lot. I think he had 11 or 12 hits that he took. So that made me nervous. But it's the same old story. It's the offense is good. The defense is not good. Linebackers stink. Safeties stink. Our corners are playing a little bit better. But really, it's like you said, it's much ado about nothing. And we are getting more excited about where the Cowboys are going to pick in the draft versus the rest of this year. And that's the frustrating part about it, is we got 6 weeks to the Super Bowl, something like that. And then after the Super Bowl, another 8 weeks or 10, 12 weeks before the draft. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of downtime. A lot of time we're going to need to talk about, okay, what are we going to do? I checked before we started the show. They didn't fire Eberflus yet, so little disappointing there. But last week we were really on him, but it sounds like Jerry's about done with him too. Listening to Jerry's comments after the games, the previous week, and then after this game, the defense. Maybe he is going to fire Eberflus. I'll still believe it when I see it, but it's the same talking points after every game. It's like, who are we going to re-sign? Are they going to re-sign Pickens? Are they going to sign Javonte Williams? Obviously they're going to re-sign Aubrey. They're not going to let him go.
Mm-hmm.
But what's this team going to look like, right? And so it was, glad that they got a win because draft position's not going to fluctuate much. That win didn't hurt them too bad.
Nope.
It's only a couple spots that they can move. If they lost last on Christmas and if they lose the next one. But it doesn't look like the Giants want the number 1 pick either because they rolled over the Raiders today. And so it was just a kind of ho-hum, like you said, boring on Christmas Day watching the Cowboys. And it was kind of cool that they got those Santa Claus pimp jackets for the MVP players of the game.
Those tomahawks.
I don't know, Luke, since you're such a huge Cowboy fan, what was your take on the Cowboys game?
I forgot they even had a game, to be honest. I didn't even know they played.
You were in the house with me. You knew they were playing. Don't lie.
No, I didn't.
You what?
I said no, I didn't. I didn't know they played.
Well, they had a game.
I know. I think pretty much to piggyback what y'all are saying, it's just who cares? I mean, essentially, maybe I'm more blunt with it because, I mean, at this point, it's all about the draft. Or ever since we knew we weren't going to make the playoffs, it's okay, where are we going to pick in the draft? And who are we going to pick? Who's our top prospects or whatever? But yeah, we'll see how it goes next year. It seems to be a common theme with Cowboys fans. Next year's our year until it's not.
Well, next year is our year. I feel it. We're gonna do much better. We're gonna be in the playoffs next year. You heard it here first. But one thing I do have to say was, you see other teams show up and play real hard, even though the games don't mean anything. You saw Cleveland do that today against Pittsburgh.
The Giants?
The Giants showing up. I felt like the Cowboys were a little lackluster, and I don't talk about fantasy football much on this show, but yes, I made the championship game in our league, and just right on cue, CeeDee Lamb, less than 10 points. Didn't, it's just that kind of thing. Effort didn't seem to be, winning that game didn't seem like it really mattered, and it probably shouldn't at this point. So not much else to talk about that. Now we do play the Giants in New York this Sunday, and it's probably going to be more of the same. I guess the only question I have for you guys is, would you play Dak in that game? He took 11 hits. Some of them looked a little rough. Do you play Dak in that game at all? Maybe a quarter? What do you do?
I wouldn't. I'm big on backup quarterback. Backup quarterback kind of draft value. I think if Milton can go out there and look even decent against what has been a pretty good pass rush, the Giants pass rush. I don't know if the secondary is all that great, but if he can navigate the pocket, show off his mobility, certainly show off the arm that he's got. Obviously Dallas is not coming off of Dak. There's no desire for them to come off of Dak. They're not going to. For me, and I'm always kind of in this constant state of, and we saw this with me suggesting along with you that if you're not going to keep GP, trade him. I think it's the same thing with Milton. Let him go out there, let him throw the ball around. If he can look really, really solid and you can pick up a 3rd or 4th round pick for him and then just go sign a veteran backup, obviously you need something there as an insurance policy, but I'd argue that Milton has way more value to the team as a trade asset than he does hoping to get playing time. Because if he does, how much of a season do you really have anyway? So I wouldn't play Dak. And then, oh, by the way, against a really good pass rush, don't put him in a position to get hurt. Don't put him in a position to have something stupid happen. Shut him down. Let Milton play. Maybe get his draft stock up a little bit. It's not a lot that can go right here if you play Dak.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree. I don't believe Joe Milton has much value for trade. I honestly don't. I think, New England's already traded him. So if another team trades him, I just don't think that there's a big trade value out there. And I think if Dak does get hurt next year, we can win some games with Milton, sort of like Cooper Rush in the past. So I'm not really looking to move Milton, but I do want him to play in this game. I don't want them to go out there and try to get anybody hurt. There aren't any records we're trying to get, or they're not any sort of, we've got a 1,000-yard rusher, we got 2,000-yard receivers, we got a 4,000-yard passer, and still no playoffs. And I think that that's the most disappointing thing is, that these last few games mean nothing. And with all that success that we had on offense, and we know why. So, yeah, I don't think, and they better not trot Murray out there on defense next week. Don't let that guy play. I just wouldn't. I mean, it's just really bad. I would put the rookie in, let him play. Put Logan Wilson in, let him play. You do need to see what you got there, because it's not a lot. Put Luafau in there and let him play the whole game. I just don't see any point in playing the starters in this game. Win or lose, that doesn't really affect your status. I know Dak says he wants to go out there and play because he wants to finish above 500. So what? Who cares? Maybe Schottenheimer cares about that, but that's my take. This game is meaningless. Let's put the backups in. Do not risk Dak getting hurt. Luke, anything to add there?
Yeah, I don't think Dak should play, obviously. But he may play for a quarter. I could see him playing for like the first quarter or something, just because I don't know, just that pride might kick in. But kind of a random question about talking about backup quarterbacks. I have been seeing clips whenever Phillip Rivers came back, and man, Cam Newton was heated. What I mean,
Was Cam think they should
bring
have
him to
called
Dallas? I don't know. Yeah, because he was mad that like, they called Phillip Rivers, but he wasn't showing any signs of like being interested in like outside of, like when Kaepernick was like had been staying in shape and posting and stuff like that, like someone call me kind of thing. Like Phillip Rivers was doing that. He was just coaching, I believe.
Yeah,
And
clearly
like,
he wasn't, because he's like we talked. He's Fat Elvis.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Clearly he's not been staying in shape.
But I don't know. Cam Newton in Dallas, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how much money. I feel like you'd want a lot of money, but I don't know.
I'm not interested in that. We saw enough of Cam Newton, and he's got a good job on First Take now. So I don't think I think that's a little bit of pride from Cam Newton. Could he have? I mean, that's a way different style offense than Cam runs mostly. I mean, you had Daniel Jones in there. Daniel Jones has, he's mobile, but Phillip Rivers is not. So, I mean, there could be a question of why did they go with Phillip Rivers versus, Riley Leonard was hurt, but this last game they could have put Riley Leonard in there. What's the point of having Phillip Rivers play? But I guess again, it could be they're out of the playoffs, so let's let Phillip play. I don't think there's anything much too heated to talk about here, in my opinion. I wouldn't have put Cam Newton out there either.
No, I don't think, especially with the way Rivers has looked. I mean, say what you want about the guy. He looks like he is shot putting the football every time he throws it, but it gets where it needs to go. I was heard or saw an article where he said, someone was talking about him not being able to throw the ball 60 yards down the field. And he said, well, I couldn't do that when I was in my prime. So what difference does it make?
That's true.
So, I mean, look, I think Cam's last couple of seasons, I don't know if I'd argue he ever had a completion percentage close to what Rivers has had in these 3 games. Once the mobility goes for a mobile quarterback, I agree, probably a little bit of a pride thing. You mentioned Kenneth Murray, not on the injury report, and didn't take a single snap against the Commanders. So I feel like they kind of heeded the warning. Shamar James had the 3rd most snaps on the team for the Cowboys. So clearly they're wanting to see what they got in the kid. I
swear I saw him on the field during the Commanders. You sure he didn't play any?
So this is based on PFF. They have the snaps and the grades up. He did not have a single registered snap
Okay.
on a maybe he was there on special teams, and I'm not sure if this doesn't count for special teams. Trayvon Diggs had the most snaps for the defense, which
And
is a
not
little
good.
yeah, I was gonna say a little suspect in and of itself. I'll be totally honest.
He's still recovering from
Um,
the TV falling
yeah,
on his head.
but he definitely wasn't registered as to taking a snap was Kenneth Murray.
Okay. Well, maybe they're finally getting that message. It's a little too late for that.
Well,
Um,
yeah, and just to that point, and I know we've been screaming about it. I'm sure I don't listen to a ton of other people or other than like the pundits. I've not heard a ton of Kenneth Murray. What we've done, I've not heard it too much. But I will say, just in looking at the grades now that we're kind of toward the end of the year, Kenneth Murray ranked 82nd out of 86 possible linebackers. So Shamar James is pretty far down there as well, and so is Logan Wilson. So. It's nothing that
hey,
we didn't already know.
just rewind the tape back to the beginning of the season when we talked about the crappy linebacker play, the crappy safety play, and the pass rush is non-existent. Well, they fixed the defensive line somewhat, although Ezraku kind of faded the last few games. We haven't seen much from him.
No.
But anyway, that's depressing stuff. I don't want to get upset again about the Cowboys, especially when I'm supposed to be apathetic. I've been preaching this apathy, and I'm so mad about what's happened. We talked before about them wasting Tony Romo's best years, and it looks like they're doing the same thing again with Dak, and we just can't get the defense right.
Yeah, we won't upset you. We won't tell you that the safeties also rank in the bottom 11 of 100 graded linebackers. They're number 89. Safeties, yeah, number 89 and number 94. So we won't upset you.
And the thing that they really thought that was going to get it done this year.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's the thing. Yeah. They're just so bad at evaluating defensive talent and drafting for defense. We went over that on a live watching of the Cowboys. I feel like we've been right on the pulse of things that have happened, and they're going to finish right where we said they would, between 7 and 8 wins. 7 to 9 wins, I think, is what we said. Best case scenario, 9 wins. And they could have gotten there, but it's kind of a season. The problem is the Cowboys don't do that just the way they should. It's like, oh, they give us hope, like we talked about. Oh, they have this great run where they beat the Super Bowl participants in back-to-back weeks. They go on this little tear, and we think they figured it out, and then they go back down to reality. And so it's never the way it should be. The 7 wins they've gotten are weird. And the 8 losses that they have currently are ones you didn't expect them to lose, right? And that's the way this team is. It's just goofy like that every stinking year, and we've talked about this a lot. I don't really want to get into it, but it's, again, to quote Denny Green, they are who we thought they were. They are who we thought they were, and they just gave us a little bit of false hope, like we predicted they would, and we kind of fell for it. You said they would make the playoffs, Nick, so.
It's before I knew they had the worst graded cornerback in the roster in the league as well. So
Trayvon?
No, Siobhan Revel.
Well, come on. Yeah, he's a rookie, though.
335. To be the worst in 111, though, that's pretty bad.
That is bad.
I will say 2 of the other 3 starters are also in the bottom 8, the bottom 20 there.
So when you look at stuff like that, it's like, no duh, they suck on defense.
Yeah.
And if I'm on the defensive line, I'm looking behind me going, what is going on, guys? Where's the peer accountability for this nonsense? So I would be in the coach's office demanding Eberflus gets fired if I was on the defensive line, just to be honest with you.
So if we still had Micah Parsons, would it matter as much?
It wouldn't, because here's the other point to that, right? Like, as you're saying all of that, and of course I'm just going to look real quick, you've got 3 of the top 40 interior defenders in all of football. Quinnen Williams is number 2. Kenny Clark is number 29, and Oso Odigizua is number 40. So clearly they are doing everything they can to make this team as good as they can, and everything behind them is just absolute trash.
Yeah, and last year with Micah, to Luke's point, they didn't do good either. So, and I think that's why Jerry eventually, after he got his feelings hurt, decided to make the trade, because hey, we didn't win with them. We can not win without them. So let's just go get some resources. But I just don't think Micah would have made much of a difference. I know he played more like his rookie year, Micah, for the Green Bay Packers, which is good for them. But again, very disappointing. Only from the standpoint of where they took us this year on this roller coaster. But if you said, hey, the Cowboys are going to finish 7-9 or 8-8, we would have said, yeah, that's what we thought they would do, right? But the way they did it, again, is goofy. So let's talk about something positive with the Cowboys. You got anything else y'all want to say before we go positive with the Cowboys?
No, just since I did everybody else, well, I'll give you a positive into the positive since we did every other unit. The defensive ends, Jadeveon Clowney, Donovan Izaraku were number 20 and 21 for edge rushers, and then Solomon Thomas on the interior also was actually in the top 50. He was number 50 for interior defensive. So defensive line, clearly. And the crazy thing is, you trade Micah, you trade your best one, who was, number 3 in DN's PFF grades. The defensive line was out of this world. I mean, it looks like all six guys.
It was good. Settle down. It was good.
Well, how
not out of this world?
Yeah, Nick, settle down.
From PFF grades.
Hey, don't argue with me. I'm a Dallas Cowboys analyst.
In terms of grading, right? If you say I can give you, what is that, 6 guys that are going to rank in the top 20 and 50 respectively of their positions, I would like to think that that's a positive thing. I mean, it should
is
be
positive.
Good.
But you said out of this world. I was just tempering that. They were good.
I mean,
okay.
What
about the corners, Bland and Diggs? Where did they grade?
So Diggs was 78, but also had considerably less snaps. So in this instance, I'm actually going to say that benefits him, because I think any more snaps probably would have sent him further down the number. And then Deron Bland was 44th. He was our highest graded secondary player.
And, he struggled when he came back from injury, but got better. And then he got injured again. So, okay. We don't need to talk about grades on the offense because the offense is not a problem. There were spots and spurts where they didn't do well when we needed them to. But overall, we can't really disrespect the offense.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if the draft were today, the Cowboys would have the 14th and 21st pick. 14th pick being their pick, and the 21st pick being Green Bay.
Right.
Now, when Jerry made the Micah trade, everybody was like, oh, this is going to be a high 28s, 30s pick, right? And it looks to be it's going to be somewhere around 20 to 22, which is probably good for us, best we could hope for, since Green Bay's doing well. So with the 14th and the 21st pick, and we already talked about not having the second and the third this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to hit on these two. Do you think they're going to make picks at 14 and 21? Do you think they're going to trade back and pick up a couple more picks? I mean, I know it's real early to talk about the draft, and we haven't begun our scouting discussions and people that they should pick, but we do believe it should be all defense. 14 and 21, based on where the year started after the Micah trade, how do you feel about that?
I think obviously a little disappointed that the Cowboys pick. It's nice that we're picking in that kind of top 15 range. You should still get some very high grades. If you remember, Micah was picked 12th. So I think there's going to be some talent there, certainly. I think Green Bay, I agree, and I expected it to be much lower. The idea being that they are locked into the 7, they can't move from the 7. So they're going to have a tough road game to open the playoffs. Those seeds are not set yet. It'll likely be either Seattle or Chicago, most likely, that they'll be playing in the first round at whichever home it is. So, you'd like to think that Green Bay won't pick up a win there. And so thus you're picking, right now it's 21, really can't get much better. So I would like them to stay and take picks with both. I don't like them trading back, but I will say it's a little bit of a sneak peek at the way that the board falls in front of us. There's a good chance that you can pick in the top 5 of DNs or secondary players if you just stay put with both picks. So if you presumably the 14th pick would be a rusher, an edge rusher, and then the second pick being a secondary player. Now, after what we just looked at with the grades, maybe you say, hey, do we really need defensive line help? Take a linebacker. And if you want to do that, then with 14 or with 21, I do like trading back because I think there'll be a lot of really good linebackers there. Pick up a pick or two, drop back, take a linebacker you'd get anyway. I really hope they don't do the thing that they do. It usually works out for them. But when they reach for these late first round guys, we've seen it a lot on the offensive line. It has worked out, but there's always that thought of, man, if you would have just traded back, you could have picked up some capital, and that guy was probably going to be there for you 3 or 4 picks later.
Yeah,
So
could be. I mean, Guyton is the biggest reach, right? Booker looked impressive enough this year at times, so maybe he wasn't as much of a reach. Maybe he'll pan out, but to do that back-to-back years is a little suspect. Again, the Cowboys fall in love with guys, and they don't move off those guys no matter what, it seems like. And so we know that if they bring you in for a visit, you're most likely going to be, that's all they look at, right? And I think, CeeDee Lamb was the exception when he fell to them that year when they drafted CeeDee Lamb. So, we did draft Micah at 12, and we'll have the, 12th, 13th, 14th pick, depending on what happens this next week. So that's not what we got in the trade. But, with all this talk, if you say I got Quinnen Williams in the 21st pick for Micah, I think still not enough, but it's better than what it looked like when he first made the trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to revisit that too much, but when you talk about the top of the draft, the Giants or the Raiders, they're going Raiders look like they're going to have the number 1 pick. The Giants beat them today. So I don't know if there's a clear number 1 pick. Maybe it's Mendoza for the Raiders because they don't have a quarterback. The Giants have their quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't really need the number 1 pick for that unless they're going to trade it, right? So we're going to have plenty of draft talk this offseason, but I think that's a positive silver lining for the Cowboys on this dud of a year is you do have 14 and 21, and you do seem to have a renewed energy around free agents and making trades for this team because they don't normally do either. But they have done that. I don't know. We'll see what the cap situation looks like. How that's going to shake out. What they do with Kenny Clark, it sounds like they're going to keep him. We'll see. Obviously, they're going to have to restructure a lot of contracts to make all this happen. But that is the silver lining on this season. I don't know. I'm a real draft nerd. One year, Luke and I got to go to the draft when it was in Dallas, and that was really cool to participate. That was Baker Mayfield's year.
That was a good draft. That was a really good draft.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, I think. Lamar Jackson, I think, were in that draft.
Yeah. Sam Darnold, was that year? I don't know.
What year was that?
I don't know. It was Baker Mayfield was the number 1 pick. It was
2018 draft.
It was out of nowhere. Baker Mayfield being the number 1 pick. But I'm a draft nerd, so we're going to have lots of time to get into the draft. Unfortunately, I thought maybe we could be talking about some meaningful football games in December and January, but not around here. So, speaking of meaningful football games, a lot of craziness in the NFL right now. So let's kind of take a look at this week in the NFL. Again, we got the Bears and Niners tonight. You got the Falcons playing tomorrow night against the who the Falcons playing tomorrow?
Playing the Rams.
Come on, man. That's right.
My team.
The Rams. Yeah. So let's talk about who's our favorite teams, who are we sticking with, but let's talk about the NFL action and where the playoff picture stands right now. As Nick said earlier, in the NFC, seeding is what is kind of up in the air. You got the Niners and Bears and Seahawks and Rams kind of all bottled together. Mm-hmm. And the game tonight and tomorrow night will shake some of that out. Obviously, one of the Bears or Niners is going to win. And then the Rams need to win tomorrow. And the Rams letting that game go in Seattle is probably going to cost them that 1 seed.
Yep.
But who do you like in the NFC? You don't have to go through seeds, but just who do you like still? I think last time Nick had the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Luke had the Rams. I had the Rams in the NFC. What do we say now with everything that's transpired? Who are you leaning towards now?
Yeah, I still don't think that there's anything that's gonna have happened that will make me come off of the Rams. I think home field in this season seems to be particularly impactful. So I think, if everything has to go through Seattle, as much as I don't, it's hard to trust Sam Darnold in that environment on that stage. Um, just Seattle in general though, man. It's such an awesome atmosphere, and it translates really well on TV. So I think that would be the only pause. Like if you're gonna give me some moment of pause for the Rams, it would just be that it looks like they're gonna be on the road. But to me, they're clearly the most complete football team. And even when they've had some injuries, they just kind of keep rolling along, man. Like it's so tough, and obviously McVay's a wonderful coach. Stafford's, still slinging the rock. So I would say the Rams for me in the NFC. I'm not changing that.
Okay. Maestro, we know you're sticking with the Rams.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Rams. Just to kind of comment on, you said them losing to Seattle could cost them. I think them losing to the Panthers is what is the game that could cost them. I don't think them losing to Seattle, because they already beat Seattle earlier. I think them losing, yes, to Seattle, but also losing to Carolina is gonna be what cost them. I think it's more about them losing to the Panthers, because they should have beat Seattle. I think they should have beat them too, but some people, I mean, that's a better team than Carolina. But
Yeah, but they had the game won in Seattle, and that's a division game. So that's why I say that game matters more, because now not only do you lose, but you're there's no there's I
No
guess there's
path
no
forward.
tiebreaker.
Yeah, there's no path
There's
forward
no
there
path
now.
forward, right?
Yeah.
And so yes, they should have beat Carolina, and that was like a Cowboys-esque loss.
Yeah.
But because it's a division game, that's why I put more weight on that one. And they had the game won. They should have finished that game, honestly.
yeah, I think, uh, I mean, I obviously still pick the Rams. Devontae Adams is resting. He'll be ready to go. I'm assuming for the playoffs, he's not going to sit out. I don't think, to what Nick was saying about playing in Seattle, I think Minnesota has a very similar atmosphere watching their home game, and Sam Darnold was there last year. They were hype, and I said this last week on the podcast. I think I agree with Nick about trusting Sam Darnold. I think it comes down to that. Like, he had the same situation last year. Is he going to repeat that, or is he going to, you know, do something different this season? And I guess we'll have to just find out how deep they make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think the Seahawks defense is better than the Vikings defense was last year. And then Sam kind of knows this is his last deal. All right,
Yeah.
you can't lay an egg in the playoffs again, or else it's going to be trouble, right? It's kind of like the Dak syndrome. If he lays an egg in the playoffs again, he's going to be right there with Dak. Like, you can win all these regular season games, but when the playoffs come, you can't get it done. For me, I tell you what, Nick picked the 49ers as a dark horse, which I don't think we can allow anymore, because they're right there battling for the first seed, but they are scary. And if they go and win this game tonight, and it's in San Francisco, so they should win this game tonight. They're a team that I'm a little bit afraid of. As long as McCaffrey stays healthy.
yeah,
I don't think I'm going to switch from the Rams, but man, I'm tempted to go with the 49ers. Earlier in the season, I had the Seahawks as the best team, but I just can't trust Sam. I want to. I'm trying to, but I just don't. So I'll stick with the Rams, but the 49ers are right there with me. They just scare me. I'm not afraid of the Bears, even though they have a great running game. They got a good defense. again, it comes down to trusting Caleb Williams, trusting Sam Darnold, where you got Brock Purdy and you got Matt Stafford. My trust is with those two over the others. So I'll stick with the Rams, but the 49ers are a close second. And like you said, all the positions are pretty locked in except for Tampa and Carolina. The winner of that game next week is going to the playoffs, and they're the 4th seed, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
If they win that game.
That's right.
Tampa's played terrible. Baker looks off.
Mhm.
Carolina's just up and down a little bit, and both of them lost today, so it's kind of ugly. But just not a lot to build your hopes on if you're a Tampa Bay fan or a Carolina fan. It's just you got to win one game and you're in the playoffs, and then all bets are off. You never do know what could happen, right? Just get in the tournament and let's see what happens. That's what Parcells would always say.
Yep.
So I'll stick with the Rams. Let's talk about the AFC. I don't know if you have the AFC standings up.
Yep.
We got some chaos in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh's allergic to closeout games. Yeah. they don't want to do it the easy way.
Yeah.
I just can't believe they lost that game today. And worse, that they scored 6 points, I think, in the game. So that's awful. I know that Luke picked Pittsburgh, I think, as his dark horse in that, and they still could be if they win this game next week.
They will.
But I think you had the Bills, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Then they didn't help you out tonight. Luke, you had the Broncos, and I had the Patriots. What are we saying? Are we sticking with them?
I am. So I although I had the Bills on my pick last week, I also picked Philly to upset Buffalo in Buffalo.
You did.
This felt like a game that Philly had a lot to play for. Not to say that Buffalo doesn't have stuff to play for. It just felt like one of those games where it just wasn't stacked for Buffalo in the right way. Having said that, they go for 2. They could have pushed it to overtime at home. I don't want to say they gave it away. Certainly they're not trying to lose, but that's a very aggressive decision there.
And the receiver was open. It was a bad throw by Josh Allen.
It was a bad throw, 100%. That's what I'm saying. The win is right there. It's not like they went in and got blown out. So now we know 6 of the 7 teams. The only 2 that are undecided, or one of 2, like you said, are Pittsburgh and Baltimore. So you've got Bo Nix, you've got Drake May, you've got Trevor Lawrence, you've got CJ Stroud, you've got Justin Herbert, and then either Lamar or Aaron Rodgers. So I'm going to stick with Josh Allen as quarterback. I'm going to stick with Cook, and I'm going to stick with the Buffalo Bills as the team to come out of the AFC.
You're a brave soul, because I think that they're probably going to fire their coach if they don't win it this year. I think Sean McDermott's probably going to be a surprise fire. That's my hot sports opinion. If Buffalo doesn't get to the championship game, but I'm a little nervous with Josh Allen. I know the Eagles have a good defense. He looks off. He doesn't have a big time receiver to throw to, and hasn't since Diggs left. The tight ends are banged up, so he doesn't have old reliable. I want Buffalo to do well, especially since Mahomes is out of the picture now, right? That's what they've been wanting to happen for years. I can't get with Buffalo. And I like the Broncos. Bo Nix is a little up and down for me, but Drake May, every week, man, 5 touchdowns. I mean, me and Luke were talking about, why is he playing? Why is he in the game? They're killing the Jets. They're way up. Just get him out. But every week that guy looks better and better. He just does. And their defense is solid. I'm sticking with the Patriots as the number 1 team in the AFC, and I hate that because I don't really like the Patriots. But I believe I can trust Drake May with Mike Vrabel in that defense more than I can trust Bo Nix. Because their defense has been a little shaky lately. And Sean Payton, I think Sean Payton's overrated. So that's my hot take on the AFC. So I'm sticking with the Patriots, and I do not fear Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. I do not fear the Baltimore Ravens, although Derrick Henry, gosh, man, wouldn't he have looked good in the Cowboys uniform? So I just don't. I don't know. I'm gonna stick with the Patriots. Nothing I saw made me change my mind. Luke?
The Patriots, and I'm gonna bring up Sam Darnold again because the Patriots is like reminding me of Sam Darnold last year with the Vikings. I mean, good defense, you know, good regular season record, or I guess better than good, really good. But I don't know. I'm still gonna pick Denver. Obviously, I trust that defense more. Um,
Then
I
New
know.
England's defense? You trust Denver's defense
Yes,
more than New England?
yes,
Hmm.
yes.
And
Okay.
you just
Why
compared
would you
Drake May to
not?
Sam Darnold?
Yeah,
He's just
yeah,
saying they haven't done it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it.
yeah. But Sam Darnold had a good season last year, kind of, if I remember correctly, kind of out of nowhere. Because he kind of bounced around a little bit and was played really well on a pretty good team with good receivers, good run game. I mean, it's the same situation. So
And
I'm not saying
Slightly different. I'll tell you why. Because Sam Darnold was labeled a bust and had to resurrect his career. Drake May has followed the progression of a top pick in the draft. Similar, he's kind of like, well, I don't want to say it, but to me, he's following that projection, and he's right. He's earlier than what people thought. So it's a little different. Sam Darnold was labeled a bust and kind of bounced around. Drake May has progressed the way he should and a little faster. So if anything, I could see where you'd say, well, it's too early, maybe.
yeah. I mean, I'm not confident in picking them. Like, yeah, they're playing good in the regular season, but that's the regular season. I mean, look at the Cowboys. How many times did they have a good regular season or a really good regular season, and they get to the playoffs and they act like they don't even know what a football looks like and they don't know how to play. Like you had Ezekiel Elliott running center as your last play of the game. What are we doing?
Well,
No, and no linemen. It's just him in the middle of the field, snapping the ball to
Don't
Dak.
bring that up. That's hard. That's
Great
hard for
play.
me
That's a great play. Wow.
Listen.
I mean, come on.
But the Cowboys never had the Patriots defense. Just let's be fair. And the Cowboys rarely had home field advantage in the playoffs. Just a few times they did, and they didn't take advantage of it. But that's going to be something that helps Drake May and the Patriots is that home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So I understand your point. He's a little early. He hasn't done it, but I think it's a much better situation than Sam Darnold was in. That's my opinion.
But Denver has home field advantage right now over New England, so that's not really going to help them. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Do they?
Denver's
Yeah,
number one.
Yeah, if
Denver is
if
number
Denver
one.
wins next week, they'll be the 1 seed.
Oh, okay. Well,
And Denver's
but
cooking, and their defense.
that's only for
yeah,
the championship game, right? So
Wait, what-
Denver's not going to make it that far.
Yeah.
So
okay. I
the
mean,
Patriots will be at home for the championship game. I don't know why I thought the Patriots had the number 1 seed. I guess I was on that post-Christmas
you're
haze.
blinded. You're blinded.
I'm blind normally because
blinded
I
to
need
some Drake
glasses,
May.
but I don't listen. I'm telling you, Drake May is impressive, man. He's way
not
better
saying
than I
he's
thought he
bad.
was.
I'm not
Way
saying he's
better.
bad.
Yeah, but he's arrived ahead of schedule, and but okay, I'll take that. I just, I really like Bo Nix, and I know Nick's an Oregon guy, and I just, if you ask me who I would trust, Bo Nix, and Bo Nix is older, he's more mature, I guess, but I feel like the coaching would go towards the Patriots, and the defense, I lean towards the Patriots. And now, if the Broncos get back to playing the way they did at the beginning of the season and halfway through the season, maybe I'll lean that way. And I did lean that way for a while.
I think they will. I
Well,
think they will.
That's
I
yet
think
to
their
be.
defense. I think their defense, especially against that Jacksonville game.
Yeah.
I think it's just a fluke. Like it happens, but we're gonna see. When the playoffs start and all that stuff, which team is a great team and which team is just a pretty good team. I think, and I think the Broncos are a great team, and I think they're gonna make a Super Bowl run this year. I think.
Well, that's why we do this show. We talk opinions, and we can differ in opinions because, the best teams don't always win, right? And that's a fact that's why we love sports. You have to go out and do it. And I think again, this year it's wide open. It's wide open. I think AFC and NFC There's not somebody that's just, okay, that team's dominant. So you got Broncos and Rams. You're staying with Maestro.
Hmm.
Nick has Buffalo and the Rams. I've got the Patriots and the Rams with the 49ers giving me doubt.
Yep.
Dark horses, we can't have Nick use the 49ers. I've got the Texans. You've got the Steelers still. Are we staying with those teams?
Wait, pause. I think so. You can use the Texans and they're 11-5, but the 49ers are 11-4.
That's right.
I think that's the problem.
It's
in
called the
That's
Dead
kinda
Jeff
cheating.
Show.
That's
It's called the
cheating.
Dead Jeff Show.
That's
And I
cheating.
make the rules.
But look, the only team that doesn't have 11 wins in the AFC is Pittsburgh. So unless
That
we
is
all
true.
have to choose Pittsburgh, then we can't have
We
it.
all have to cheer for Aaron Rodgers.
Well,
Everybody.
I'm talking about somebody that's going to be in that, 5th or 6th seed, 4 or old or down. And to me, when I picked the Texans, they weren't there. They were at the bottom of the playoff seeding. And so when he picked the 49ers, they were still up there. They had a chance to win the division still. But it's the Dead Jeff Show, and I get to make the rules. So if he takes the Niners and they're in 1 seed, they can't be a dark horse.
All
Okay.
right, my dark horse is the Patriots. Then.
Hey, that's
So-
exactly my point.
So if you throw out the records, right, obviously betting odds gives you a really good indication on who's getting a lot of action on them in terms of
Yeah.
bets and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Right now, you've got the Rams, Seahawks, and Eagles as your 3 betting favorites to win in that order. The next teams are the Patriots, Broncos, and Bills. Then the 49ers pop up at plus 1,200. Then the Jaguars and Texans are tied. And then Pittsburgh's all the way at third to last. So true dark.
So me and Luke have a true dark horse, and Nick's is not a true dark
Not
horse.
really a dark
That's
horse, yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Here's what I'll
Yeah.
say. The only 2 that I can choose, I'll go Chicago. That's I like Caleb Williams, and I
Look,
really like Ben Johnston.
I'm just giving you a hard time, but that would be more of a dark horse. Chicago would be than San Francisco. Now, if they win tonight, then
Right.
then
Yeah.
it is what it is. But anyway,
Yeah.
we're sticking with our dark horses. No one's changing. That's what I'm hearing.
Yep.
Are you sticking with the Steelers?
Yes, I'm sticking with the Steelers. The Steelers are going to beat the Ravens and send them home.
Yeah.
And they're gonna stay my dark horse. I think.
Okay.
Got to bet on Aaron Rodgers.
One thing I want to ask you right now, as we have 1 game left in the season, who's the MVP of the NFL? You still think
Ooh.
it's Stafford?
Great
Is
question.
it Drake May? Who is it? It's not
Puka
anybody.
Nakua.
It could be Puka.
No.
Yeah, but they're not going to give it to him.
No shot.
It's not Puka.
No
who,
way.
now, who do you think
How
is
is
the
it not
MVP?
Puka?
Do you think
No.
really? Would you pick Puka as the MVP, Luke?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to have somebody throwing the ball to him. I don't think he's been dominant enough with that. Because, here's the thing: if Puka has insert quarterback here throwing him the ball, is he doing the same thing? I think Stafford is as responsible for his Smith and Jigba.
What are his stats? What's
I'm about to pull it up.
why? Because you got Josh Allen, Drake May, Matt Stafford. Some people say maybe James Cook, but Josh Allen kind of overshadows that.
Well, while he's looking that up, I'll give you the current betting odds on the Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
On the MVP.
Yeah.
Okay.
The current odds are Matt Stafford, the favorite at minus 250.
Yeah.
Drake May, Josh Allen.
Yep.
Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence, and Justin Herbert.
All quarterbacks.
All quarterbacks.
So if it's going to go to a quarterback, it's got to go be Matt Stafford or Drake May.
100%.
Yeah, I would agree with that if it goes to a quarterback. Yeah, I think Stafford.
Anybody outside of a quarterback, who is the non-quarterback with the highest odds?
The next is Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Okay.
And then
I would buy
after that is Puka Nakua.
See? And you're over here dissing Luke for his
you
Puka
act
Nakua.
like I'm crazy.
I'm not saying that he's not the best
Nah,
of
you
the
are.
non-quarterback options. And actually, I would pick Njigba over Nakua because I think doing what Njigba's doing with Sam Darnold, to the point that you were just making a second ago, is far more oppressive than what Nakua is doing with Matt Stafford.
Fair. That's fair. Plus,
but what
he's a Rockwall boy, so we, he played at Rockwall. we like to support our local heroes here. So I would take him over Nakua.
Yeah, but what I was saying was, unfortunately, and I don't like this, but they are not ever. It feels, I shouldn't say ever. It just feels really, really unlikely that the NFL will ever give it to a non-quarterback now. With the way the league's constructed,
Yeah.
it's going to be a quarterback.
Yeah, it's not fair, but that's the
It's
way
really
it is.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can talk about Myles Garrett
100%. That's
on
exactly where my mind
defense,
went.
and
That's where my mind went for sure.
and now Charles Woodson should have never beat Peyton Manning for the Heisman, but they gave it to him because of all the hype, right? So yeah, I would agree. I think it's going to be Matt Stafford or Drake May. If you force me to pick somebody that's not a quarterback, I would pick Smith and Jigba.
Yeah.
With Nakua right there.
Mhm.
And Myles Garrett right there. So I just was curious, and it sounds like once Nick saw the stats, he changed his opinion on that, Luke. So I want you to put that on a clip.
What?
He was like Nakua, no.
Yeah,
Oh well,
I mean, he's
second best odds of a
No.
non-quarterback.
I will
Yeah,
say
he's
no,
so
no, 'cause it's
wishy-washy.
not. There's no shot it's not a quarterback. That's why I was saying that. It will never not be a quarterback.
I think you need to roll the tape back. You were like, Nakua is benefiting from
No,
Stafford.
yeah,
He's
yeah, it
benefiting from
was
Stafford.
Oh, I stand by
it
that.
it was nothing about it being a quarterback specifically. You were
It's
acting like
okay.
Puka Nacua. How dare you?
It's
But
okay.
his stats next to Jackson Smith, I mean, they're pretty.
Very close, right?
Yeah, but Puka obviously has to play tomorrow, so we'll see what his stats look like tomorrow.
Yeah.
He dominated against the Seattle defense.
Mhm.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well,
But
and here's the thing I don't understand is when, like Derrick Henry on the Ravens, you got Huntley as the quarterback. Wouldn't you do everything you could to stop the run game if if you're playing the Ravens, right?
well,
I just-
Micah's out, right?
I know, but dude, Micah doesn't help in the run game. He never has. So my point is that make the quarterback throw and beat you. That's all I would say about that.
Yeah.
Take away the weapon. And no one takes away Nakua. No one takes away Henry, unless the Ravens do it themselves. But anyway, let's go from MVP to Pro Bowl selections. Nick, do you have the list in front of you currently?
Yes, sir.
The Pro Bowl's selections were announced, so let's just kind of go through NFC first and then AFC.
Yeah, so the NFC roster, as my computer just completely blanks out on me. There we go. So the NFC roster is, we're going to go quarterbacks are Matt Stafford, Dak Prescott, and Sam Darnold. These are in order. Receivers are Puka, Jackson Smith, George Pickens, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Running backs are Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson, with Kyle Juszczyk as the kind of preordained always to be fullback in the NFC since he's like the only one. Got to give my boy Lipke in the Cowboys. He's got a couple of years now. Maybe it'll just be a while before he takes over. Trey McBride and George Kittle are your tight ends. Penei Sewell, Tristan Wirfs, and Trent Williams are the tackles. Tyler Smith, Joe Tooney, and Chris Lindstrom are the guards. And then Drew Dahlman and Cam Jurgens of the Eagles are your centers.
So Cowboys got one Pro Bowler.
No,
Tyler Smith.
No,
and
Prescott
George Pickens, too. Sorry.
Prescott
George
made it.
Pickens. Oh, Dak made it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's pretty good. 3,
Yeah.
all on offense, of course.
Mm-hmm.
What about defense? Did you go over
Did
that?
Jerry Jones make it?
Yeah, defensive starter or defensive selections are Aiden Hutchinson, Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence are your ends. Your interiors are Jalen Carter, Leonard Williams, Quinnen Williams. The outside backers are Brian Burns, Jared Verse, and Byron Young. Inside linebackers are Jack Campbell and Zach Bound. Secondary is
Bond.
J.C. Horn. Bound. What is it?
That's the Eagles guy, right? Isn't it
Yeah, yeah.
Bond?
Sure.
Okay.
J.C. Horn, Devin Witherspoon, Cooper DeJean, and Quinion Mitchell. And let me just say, that draft when the stupid Eagles took DeJean and Mitchell, like,
Frustrating.
I mean, you give me crap for loving Howie Roseman so much, but then he does stuff like that.
Yeah, you need to get you a Howie Roseman jersey. That's what you need.
Safeties are Kevin Byard, Antoine Winfield Jr., who the dude's been good for like a decade, by the way. Like he's timeless. Love him for Tampa. And then Budda Baker.
Now, so Cowboys got 4.
Yep.
On the Pro Bowl. And
no, they got 5. Aubrey also made it.
Of course he did. Yep. So 5 Pro Bowlers for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
And I didn't look at this list before we got on. I should have. But I don't really care about the Pro Bowl. I'm really more interested in All Pro. That's what I like.
Yeah, not since they moved it to like flag football and they just farting around doing all that bull crap. Like nobody watches that crap, dude. Like let's honor Sean Taylor.
Pick 6 for the Bears.
Those guys.
Pick 6 for the Bears.
Well, that's great for me in fantasy because you know what? That's
Hey, I agree with what you're saying.
This is just my day.
The Pro Bowl is still an honor, but half the people back out of it and they replace people. And it's not as big of a deal as it once was. I like the all pro list, but the Cowboys getting 5 is kind of surprising. It's not surprising that 0 on defense. Quentin Williams was our defensive guy. Mm-hmm. So, but half his season was with the Jets, so it's kind of funny that he came in and made the NFC Pro Bowl squad. But Micah and Lawrence making it is just salt in the wounds of Cowboy fans.
Oh yeah,
you could have kept Lawrence, right? He didn't get paid a whole bunch, but they didn't think he had anything left in the tank, and he goes to Seattle and plays awesome.
Mm-hmm. But we knew they would probably make it, right? Like it's not a shocker that they're in the Pro Bowl.
Well, DeMarcus Lawrence being in the Pro Bowl is when he's supposed to be.
Yeah,
but Micah
a little bit.
Not Micah. Micah should be in the Pro Bowl, and DeMarcus should be because he's played awesome this year. But what I'm saying is the Cowboys didn't think he had that in him and let him go, and maybe didn't treat him like they should have based on how he played. Now he did have a lot of talent around him. They don't suffer from poor linebacker and safety play. So would he have been on the Pro Bowl here? No, but I'm glad Quinnen got in there. He deserves it. When you just look at how teams attack him, they know he's a huge deal. So congratulations to the Pro Bowlers in the NFC. Cowboys get 5. There was no question the A-bomb was going to be in there, Brandon Aubrey. And Dak, is cool to see there. Again, but it's regular season Dak, stat stuff for Dak, right? And Pickens, that's great for him. So, any other comments about the NFC Pro Bowl?
I think the only other thing that you can really look at from the NFC side is kind of the snubs, so to speak.
I was looking at that.
Yeah, Lane Johnson didn't make the Pro Bowl. That's if you follow at all, that's a little weird.
How many games did he miss this year?
Yeah, I have to go back and look, but I think just not seeing his name, like even without reading like a snub list, that was the first thing where it was like, oh, where's Lane Johnson at? But you're right. I mean, maybe it was that's I would imagine that would probably be the reason why. The other one that is wild, and it's going to be so funny if he's the one that had to pick 6, but Nahshon Wright for Chicago.
No, it was a linebacker who had the pick 6.
And I understand, like when you look at the roster for the NFC defense, it's like, who does he replace?
Another former Cowboy, by the way.
Right. When you
Jerry's
think,
locked in, man. Jerry's locked in.
He's good at picking players for other teams.
Bro, that's nuts.
So good. So J.C. Horn, Witherspoon, DeJean, and Mitchell. It's like, man, those are 4 really, really good DBs. But Wright is.
Who are you going to take out though?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like so it's so hard to say like it's a snub because you got to replace somebody. So I mean, I get that part of it, but those are 2: Lane Johnson, and I'm sure there's others, but just to me, first immediate thought would be Lane Johnson and Wright. So
yeah,
only comments for the NFC.
Well, again, the Pro Bowl is kind of meh. So I don't really have enough concern to talk about snubs. So let's go on to the AFC Pro Bowlers. Let's listen to that. Maybe I can listen more intently as you read the names because I totally missed Dak and I heard Pickens, but I missed Dak last time.
So quarterbacks are Josh Allen, Drake May, and Justin Herbert. Receivers, Jamar Chase, Nico Collins, Zay Flowers, and Cortland Sutton. It's a little bit of a surprise to me, but, Denver's had a good year, obviously. Running backs, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, and Devon Achane. Fullback, Patrick Ricard for Baltimore. Tight ends, the rookie, Brock Bowers, and Old Man Kelsey. Tackles, Deion Dawkins, Garrett Bowles, and Joe Alt. The guards are Quinn Meinerz from the Broncos. It's the first time I've heard that guy's name. Shame on me. Quentin Nelson, Trey Smith, and then the guys that are forever there, Creed Humphrey and Tyler Linderbaum at the centers.
Okay, offensively, you said Cortland Sutton made the Pro Bowl?
That's right.
That was a little interesting because I look at what are his stats this year.
I mean, I think Zay Flowers is more interesting to me.
Well, I don't think Baltimore throws it enough to get Zay Flowers to the Pro Bowl.
That's the problem for Flowers is they just. So Sutton's, I'll give you his best 3 games of the year: 7 for 113 and a touchdown, 6 for 118 and a TD, and 8 for 99. It's not exactly world-beating numbers, right?
Yeah, but I mean, who else made the receiver team?
The other 3 were
Zay Flowers.
Hold on, sorry, I got to go back.
Jamar Chase, Nico Collins.
There you go.
Well, maybe it's a down year in the AFC for receivers. Who would you call out as another receiver that should have made it over Sutton or
in the
Flowers?
AFC? Yeah, I don't know that you have one, honestly. Not just like obvious ones. Now, if you start diving into the stats, you might be able to come up with.
I mean, the Patriots do it by committees. Stephon Diggs is there.
Right.
You have nobody on the Bills that should do it. The Chiefs were injured all year. Jacksonville, I don't know how Jacoby Myers ended up. Maybe you could make a case for him. I think the other guy, the junior,
Brian Thomas Jr.
He dialed it back a little bit this year. He didn't play as good as he did last year. I'm just going by the playoffs. Chargers, Quentin Johnson, maybe?
In terms of yardage,
I don't know.
Yeah, in terms of yardage, those 4 are the top 4 in terms of yards. And the next closest to them in the AFC would be Jalen Waddle, who only had 64 catches.
Wow.
And then after Jalen Waddle, the next there's a lot of NFC guys on this list.
Who's leading the AFC in touchdowns at receiver?
At receiver, it would be Sutton with 7.
Well, okay. Congratulations, Cortland Sutton. I guess we don't have really a case against him.
No case against him.
Told you.
And again, this is how much I care about the Pro Bowl. I mean, I used to be a real stat guy. Like baseball, I knew everybody's stats. I knew who was home run leaders, the RBI leaders, the average leaders. In football, I knew all the league leaders in every category, and it's just not the same anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old. Maybe
because you're older, you got different priorities now.
Hey, be quiet, young kid. Get off my lawn.
All right. Get to the here you go for the defense.
Defense.
Myles Garrett, Will Anderson, Max Crosby on what would be like an all-world defensive end team.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Simmons, Chris Jones, and Zach Allen. Like defensive line-wise, those 6 guys, like just man for man, might be one of like the most scary 6-man defensive lines ever. That's awesome. Outside backers are TJ Watt and Tuli Tiapalutu. I'm sure I butchered that.
From the Chargers, right?
Yeah, for the Chargers, that's right. Roquan Smith, Aziz Al-Shahir, and are the inside backers. Derek Stingley, Patrick Surtain, Christian Gonzalez, and Denzel Ward at your corners. Wow. And then Jalen Ramsey, Kyle Hamilton, and Derwin James, also phenomenal safety. So
it's a good defense. I wish they weren't playing flag football.
Yeah, no, because man, you talk about like, and I'm thinking about like exactly what Luke was saying, man. You think about some of these guys that used to, really fly around the ball in the Pro Bowl. Like if you go watch the Pro Bowl best hits, there's some dudes making some plays, and this defense.
Pro Bowl best flagpole.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe let's change that name, but,
Flagpole.
yeah, maybe. But, yeah,
Who's the best?
that's
Who's the best tugger?
yeah, let's maybe not travel down that road.
Well,
Although
hey, Luke hasn't said anything controversial this week, so maybe I
that's
need to
true.
add
I mean,
something.
I
I
I can
No, don't.
yeah.
I can cook something up.
Um,
And
no,
the
but I will say
49ers
that
just scored, by the way. 49ers now
Yeah,
7-7.
I
nice.
saw that.
The AFC defense, is phenomenal. That is a phenomenal
Yeah.
group. I don't know how you think, anything differently there. Maybe there's some snubs possibly, but man, you'd be hard pressed to take any of those guys out of that team.
Well, to quote the wedding singer about the Pro Bowl, whoopity doo. That's how I feel about it. All right. I'm glad we went over it though, because those guys honestly were deserving. It's
Yep.
just they got to do something better with the Pro Bowl than what they've done. Again, I like the All Pro list, and we'll see at the end of the season when that's out. Okay, let's get into Nick's picks. Nick, how did we do last week? We'll find out right after the music. Hit it, Maestro. Okay, how did we do?
So we're right now we're 1-2. We've got Chicago. I picked Chicago. I'm sorry, San Francisco. I picked San Francisco to win by 2. So San Francisco -2 was the last pick. Right now we're 1-2. The Eagles upset Buffalo.
Buffalo. Yeah.
The Eagles upset Buffalo. The Jaguars forgot how to score points, and the Colts feel for some reason like they have something to play for. Why did they roll over? Really screwed me over on that one.
Fat Elvis won't let it happen, baby.
He won't, man.
He's
And
TCB. He's taking care of business.
and honestly, they looked really good for like 2.5 quarters. Like it looked like they might have held on to win the game for a stretch there. So that sucked. And then, the Chargers just laid an egg at home. Houston, be careful with Houston. Your sleeper pick, man. That defense is phenomenal. If CJ Stroud can just be slightly above average, that's a scary team. Like Houston can make a lot of noise. So those were the picks last week. We'll see what happens tonight with San Francisco. I need them to cover by 2 against Chicago.
Okay. So, and
So
for
that
the year, you are?
so that puts us now at 30, and it would be 14 on the year.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So
I mean, it's early. It's Sunday night, and the line is out for next week's games, but it's early, so maybe you're capitalizing on a good time here to get into next week's picks.
yeah, I will say I was actually thinking about. It's funny that you bring that up. We did not talk about this, but I had traditionally always waited till right before the games kicked off to bet a lot of these games. What I started to theoretically bet a lot of these games because this is all for fun. But I went back and looked at this last week, and the lines changed so much throughout the week that some of these games that I'm actually, you know, theoretically predicting correctly, I would have lost if I waited and made the same bet on the new lines. So there's something to this betting early thing. Definitely sticking with it. But having said that, let's get into it.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically. Now I did try to stick to games that only have something to play for. There's a lot of games on the schedule on week 18 where
You just
maybe
don't know what's
one,
going to happen.
yeah, maybe one team has something to play for. Like the Cowboys Giants, for example. Like, how could you possibly bet that game? You have no idea who's going to play, who's not going to play. Who knows? So let's start with Chicago. Chicago next week is playing the Lions. Now the Lions don't have anything to play for, but Chicago has a ton to play for, and the line is actually only Chicago -2, and the game's in Chicago. So it's a little. I feel like Chicago's getting disrespected just a little bit. I'm actually double checking that the game's actually in Chicago because that seems criminal. Yeah, it's in Chicago, so that's very weird, but it is what it is. So Chicago versus Detroit. Chicago's a -2. We'll take Chicago -2. We've got San Francisco at Seattle, I believe it was. Yes,
Yep.
San Francisco on Seattle. San Francisco is a 1-point favorite. You know, that's potentially, I guess we'll see what happens tonight, but potentially going to be a really, really big game. I'm going to stick with my dark horse, and I think San Francisco. This is where we'll start to see some of that Sam Darnold effect. You know, San Francisco's been in a lot of big games over the last couple of years, so I like San Francisco there. Carolina and Tampa. This is the game to get into the playoffs. Carolina is currently a 3-point underdog. So Tampa
Is
is
that
the
Tampa?
favorite. Yes. So Tampa is a favorite. It's in Tampa. I want so badly to pick Baker Mayfield because I love Baker Mayfield's game. We've talked about this before. But Bryce Young has looked phenomenal. Teteroa McMillan has been great. That running attack that they have in Carolina with Dowdle and Hubbard, I think it travels really well. So I'll take Carolina, and I'm going to pick them to cover the spread, though, +3.
Wow.
So Carolina +3. And then the last one, and I saved this one for last because I'm going to get daggers from Luke. We got Baltimore going to Pittsburgh. Baltimore is currently a 3-point favorite. I will take Lamar Jackson and Baltimore to win and cover the 3, knocking old man Rodgers out of the playoffs and maybe out of the league.
Now, you meant Derrick Henry, right? That's what you meant, because if they're going to win, it's going to be Derrick Henry that does it, not Lamar Jackson.
And I think everyone will have that exact same thought, and then you're going to get a throwback from Lamar. I think Lamar's going to come out and just there's all this talk about he's playing video games and he's falling asleep in meetings and he's not showing up and all these different reports. Anytime anything starts going bad, everyone starts talking about everything that these guys aren't doing. Lamar is still a world-class talent, and I think he comes out and shows everybody that in one game. And I personally cannot wait for that game. I think it's going to be a phenomenal atmosphere.
Well, you need to call me when a TV falls on his head. That's when it's news. I do fear the one game scenario with Lamar for sure.
I don't.
Yeah, Luke doesn't seem concerned.
He does not seem concerned.
Pittsburgh's going to win. Pittsburgh's going to beat him.
To me, I want Baker to win. I don't want Carolina to go to the playoffs. I need Baker to win. I need Baker to get back to playing. I mean, I don't know what happened with him and Jared Goff, but they must be drinking the same drink or whatever, because they both have fallen off. And we need Baker to get back the momentum, the big mojo.
Look, I want Baker to win. Like if you just want me to pick with my heart here, I would much rather see Tampa in the playoffs than Carolina.
I think you pick these games so that even if you lose, you feel like you won. No. That's what you're doing here, because you want your guy to win, but you're not going to pick him to win. So if he loses, you still win. It's a win-win for you.
That's a real. I mean, I got to look. If that's the strategy, I'm going to stick with that because it's working this year.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop doing my reoccurring purchase in crypto every week, and I'm just going to go with Nick's picks and see how I do. Sounds like it'd be more beneficial to me.
It's a good call, man.
Hypothetically.
Yeah. My moral bank is very, very full these days. So let me give you the quick rundown. You've got Detroit at Chicago -2. You've got Carolina at Tampa, Carolina +3. You've got Baltimore versus Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh, Baltimore -3. And you've got San Francisco versus Seattle in San Francisco, San Francisco -1.
Okay. All right. And that's Nick's picks for the week, the early edition. And let us know if you've been riding with Nick's picks, how hypothetically you've been doing. Okay, before we get into Maestroing through the news, I got to say something. I know that Maestro has posted our college football videos, our clips about college football, and it's interesting to hear and see the comments and the allegiances to the teams. People, I think it's funny because you can't get people to look at facts, right? When they have this allegiance, kind of like talking basketball with Nick because he likes the Spurs so much. He's blinded by the Spurs aura that he can't objectively talk facts. So I noticed that in the comments this week about all these games. Like if the Miami fans, Luke picked Miami to beat Ohio State, and all the people that are Miami fans are coming to that defense, and all the Ohio State fans are like, no way. The Indiana-Alabama was a lightning rod. Everybody thinks Alabama's going to roll. But even the Oklahoma fans got a little upset about me saying that Indiana's defense was better than Oklahoma's. Well, it is. It is better. They're a top 3 defense. Oklahoma's top 10-ish. So that's way better if you ask me. But I gotta, let me grab this. I got this for Christmas. And it's the first time I've ever had anything Indiana football. I'll just say I've been a Hoosier, but we've sucked at football. So I'm going to get my chops in right now. I'm not taking licks this year. We're going to give them out because it might be the only chance we get to be good at football was last year and this year. But I like Cignetti. I still think Indiana's defense is going to prove out. The only thing I'm worried about with Alabama is can we handle their pressure? Can we block for Mendoza? That's the only thing that gives me fear, and it's been quiet. I haven't heard from my friend Scott Thrasher at all. So maybe he's thinking like Nick that he's going to jinx it. But I do have an affinity for Indiana, but I do remain objective when facts are introduced into conversations. And I am afraid of that pass rush from Bama. And can we handle that? I think we can make some explosive plays if we get them blocked. And I think our defense can handle them pretty good. But I think it's hilarious, and we can make this what's killing Jeff. It's the people's allegiances to things, and they're not swayed by facts at all. It's just the emotion. It's the rah-rah. That's what makes fans fanatical. That's where the word comes from, is we're fanatical about it. But thanks to Chloe for getting me that Indiana Hoosier football helmet. I thought that was pretty cool. That's my middle daughter, Chloe. And so I don't know. What did you guys see in the comments about college football? People are very passionate about their college football. And when we first started talking about it, you and I mean, Nick picked Oregon because of uniforms and a video game. And I picked Indiana because they're the lovable losers. And I'm from Indiana. So what do you guys think about what we've seen from our college football clips?
I was shocked that Miami got. I mean, obviously I know the U has a huge fan base like that. That doesn't shock me. And obviously one of my favorite, probably my favorite Cowboy ever is Michael Irvin, just like individual Cowboy. And there's a lot of other, Canes that have come out of that I love, Ed Reed and all those boys. But I didn't realize, to your point, how rabid the fan base is, man, because early on it was kind of looking like 50-50. And I'm more talking about kind of the TikTok comments, but it is definitely skewed Miami's direction now. A lot of people were very unhappy with me saying that it would be a 3-score game, which, fair enough. It's all in good fun, but I don't think I realized how rabid the U fan base was, especially after, to your point, y'all saw what I saw. Y'all saw the game against Texas A&M.
Yeah.
If you think A&M is anywhere near Ohio State, like, I can't take you seriously. Like, come on. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, but that's facts get in the way of emotions, right? And that's the thing is you did say they were going to win by 3 scores. Luke picked Miami to win, and we can have a healthy debate over that. But when you start looking at facts and people, they just don't accept it, right? It's like, oh, well, that's subjective. Or no, it's actually truthful. It's when you start analyzing the teams, these are the things that come out, right? And we don't have allegiance to Ohio State or Miami. We're trying to be objective. You do have an allegiance to Oregon. I do have an allegiance to the Indiana Hoosiers. Luke sort of has one to the Hoosiers. He's like his father in that aspect. But we can tell the truth about the team and the team where they struggle and what we're worried about and it's not we're going to roll, we're going to kill everybody. No, that's not the right mentality. Let's be objective with our college football fandom. And again, I'm not acting like I've been a huge Indiana football fan my whole life. I've really rooted for them, but they've stunk so bad. It's kind of like rooting for the Cowboys for the last 30 years. But again, everybody settle down out there. It's okay. We can have a healthy sports debate. Let's just not get crazy with it.
Yeah, what do you think, Luke? You feel vindicated, Luke, reading some of those comments? Because I will say Miami's got a lot of, and there were some points being made that I think were rooted in fact, where it's like, if this guy has a better game or as he's coming back, blah, blah, blah. Like, I get that. There is some of that. And obviously mine's a prediction. I'm not saying as a fact they're going to win by 3 scores. It's just what I think's going to happen. But as I was reading, I was like, man, I bet Luke feels real good because there's a lot of Miami, pro Miami stuff going on here.
No, I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. My pick is my pick. I pick Miami. Does not matter if everyone is against me. That's just my pick. And I think Miami's going to win. And I still think Miami's going to win. Even if all the comments were against me. Don't care. I think Miami's going to win.
Yeah, we don't really care what people say either from that standpoint. We were just shocked by the polarization of, oh, there's no way Miami's going to win. Oh, there's no way Ohio State's going to win. It's just like, come on, guys. But I get that. You make your predictions, and the thing is, we move forward. No one goes back to check all the predictions we made to check our record. It might be a fun thing we should do to see what's happened.
Nah, let's not do that.
But since my daughter Emma gave me a shirt that says Dallas Cowboys analyst, I'm official now. So it doesn't matter if I've
Why
had
are you
bad
rubbing
takes.
your chest like that?
Hey, man, I'm just pointing it out.
Just
Cowboys
You
analyst.
don't have to rub your chest like that.
Cowboys analyst.
We can see the shirt. We can read it. You don't got to rub your chest.
Hey, I'm just
Makes me
telling
feel
you.
uncomfortable.
I'm proud of my shirt. I'm proud of it, okay? Because
I'm not going to post a video of this. I'm just going to post the audio only.
No, you're going to post the shirt. The Dallas Cowboys analyst. Because I'm passionate about the Cowboys, but I also analyze it. And I stay objective to the truth. That's what we need from our fans. Let's not go crazy. I know fanatical fan, I get it, but let's let the truth mean something. And everybody just settle down. And that we can call what's killing Jeff this week. So there you have it. Just settle down out there. Let's be truthful in our fandom. Okay, I think I've said that before, so it might be a repeat, but that's okay. Have I told you that I'm a Dallas Cowboys analyst? I don't know if I said that enough. Thank you, Emma, for my shirt. Yeah, well, you probably didn't until I got the shirt, so that's what makes it official. Okay, all right, let's get to Maestro through the news. Maestro, you ready for Maestroing us through the news?
Yeah. Is that even a word though?
I don't know. Let's just go with it. I'm not a wordsmith. I'm a Dallas Cowboys analyst, okay? So you can't get cracking on my English.
All right. I'm going to see if I can. I wonder if I can share mine. If I can share my screen.
Well, let's not tempt the technology fate here, dude. Let's just keep it simple.
Well, I want you to see the video.
Oh, mercy.
Okay, no, I can't do it because I'm going to have to reopen. So the first story I have, if you've seen the video, you could probably pull up the video on your phone, Dad, and watch it. But I was gonna show it on here, but I'll have to do that next episode. Anyways, the first story I have is, I don't know if y'all saw Snoop Dogg mid-interview catching the kickoff for his bowl game. You saw that?
I did see it. Yeah, they showed it on SportsCenter.
Okay,
he lost a shoe in the midst of him fielding the kickoff. Yeah.
Yes, he lost his shoe.
Was it a punt or a kickoff? I don't remember.
It was a kickoff.
It was a kickoff,
Okay.
And I was very concerned for his hips and anything that was potentially going to fall out of his pockets.
Well, you know, Snoop used to be a gangster, and he's not anymore. He don't want to be a G no more, right? So he's living a good life. And that was a Snoop Dogg bowl, right? So he's out there, you know, chopping it up with everybody, and I thought it was hilarious that he came out of his shoe to field that kick. But you gotta love Snoop Dogg. I think it's hilarious how much America loves him now.
Yeah, awesome. And I will say, and I'm not sure why I thought this, I thought he was a lot older. I'm sure, like a lot of people, checking out how old Snoop was after he did that.
Because he looked old doing that.
He did, right. That was part of the thing. I was like, oh man, look at him out there making moves. You know, that's pretty good for a 60-something. He's mid-50s, 54 years old. So I'm like, that's kind of, when you have facts, it changes your perspective. Because then I was like, oh, that did not look.
Was he wearing Skechers? Did Snoop?
They were slip-ons, whatever they were.
They were definitely slip-on.
Yeah, but doesn't he advertise with Skechers?
I think so.
Is that right? Does he have one of those?
I think that's true. So that's a bad advertisement for Skechers. Don't buy the Snoop Dogg Skechers because you're gonna come out of the shoes. So
Well,
Yeah, he
definitely don't
does.
field
Snoop
kicks.
Dogg collab with the Skechers.
Yeah, I wouldn't be fielding kicks in your Skechers, but
You know,
maybe
maybe his socks were like brand new, and you know how they're a little slippery. Your socks when you get brand new socks and you don't wash them first, and they're just a little slippery. Maybe that's what happened.
I don't know what you're talking about here with this sock discussion. I just put on socks and I go play basketball.
That's because you don't buy new socks. You wear old socks.
Hey
You
man,
wear old nasty socks.
they're not nasty. They're old reliables. You don't need socks unless you get a hole in them. That's when you need new socks.
I don't
Or
agree
if they
with
used
that.
to be white, now they're gray. Now it's time to get new socks.
Yeah.
I can agree with that, but not with the holes only. I mean, you can get new socks even if your socks don't have holes. They're still holes.
Well, shout out to Snoop Dogg because that was awesome. I
That
really
was awesome.
he's very entertaining.
Yeah.
I did think he broke his ankle. I'm not gonna lie, it was awkward, but then he got up and played it off like he meant to do it, and he just having fun out there. But shout out to Snoop Dogg.
All right. The next story I have is something I've never really paid attention to before, but it seems like it's pretty funny how they do it. The Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going around about the Pop-Tarts Bowl, with BYU's coach just munching on the Pop-Tarts after the game.
Well-
So it says they vote for. Let me see. So it says in the game between BYU and Georgia Tech, fans voted by text during the game to decide which team of giant Pop-Tart mascots would be sacrificed into a massive 11-foot toaster after the final whistle. The winning team, BYU, which was BYU, got to eat the life-size edible Pop-Tart that emerged in an ongoing display of sponsorship. So there's videos of it, and there's the mascots that get lowered into this big giant toaster, and then comes out an actual life-size Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
It
Listen,
just looks funny.
I know, but the bowl games suck, so they got to do something to get people's attention because with the college football playoff, I bet bowl viewership is way down. And so I would tune in for this, and I did actually watch this, and it's hilarious. But I do want to say one thing. Pop-Tarts, overrated. Pop-Tarts are overrated. The only one that's not overrated is the s'mores Pop-Tart. That's the best one. But in general, they're overrated. They're a little dry. I don't ever toast mine. I always ate them out of the package on the go.
You don't like them.
But I'm just telling you, Pop-Tarts I think are overrated. But I do like this tradition. I remember when they started it, it was all the rage. But they got to make these bowl games more interesting, and everybody probably tuned in for that or watched it on social media.
What you just said is I eat my sandwiches by putting the turkey in the bread, closing the bread, and then eating it. And I don't like sandwiches. Well, yeah, when you
What?
when you do nothing to make it the best it can be, of course you don't like it. If you don't toast it, of course you don't like it.
I bet there's more people than you think don't toast Pop-Tarts. I think there's more people than you think. And I don't understand what you were talking about with this sandwich thing. Please make your analogies make sense.
It makes sense. If I have the ability to put mayonnaise and tomatoes and pickles and if I have
Mayonnaise sucks. That's what's truth. Mayonnaise sucks. So
Look.
I know I do eat my sandwiches dry. I don't, maybe just a little bit of mustard, but nothing. No,
I'm talking to the wrong person about food.
Yeah.
Is really the
no
problem here.
You are, but
What do you prefer instead of Pop-Tarts?
me?
Yeah.
Well, now I drink protein shakes and eat protein bars for breakfast. So I'm trying to be good on my health journey, but I prefer cereal as a kid over Pop-Tarts. If I had to eat it on the go, I would eat the Pop-Tarts, but they had to be s'mores or I would take cherry frosted. And if you eat the unfrosted Pop-Tart, you are crazy.
Yeah.
An
I
unfrosted
do
Pop-Tart is
agree with that.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you eat an unfrosted Pop-Tart, then you are a maniac serial killer.
What about the brown sugar Pop-Tart? You ever had that one?
Yeah, I have. It's okay. It's not as good as the s'mores one, to me. But again, I prefer cereal. I prefer bacon, biscuits and gravy. That's my favorite breakfast. That kind of breakfast food. Pop-Tarts, no. check out how many carbs and sugars are in the Pop-Tarts, man. It's deadly.
Nobody
but
wants to look at that. They just want to eat the
No.
Pop-Tart.
No.
you have to look at it when you're my age, especially when I just look at a Pop-Tart and gain 5 pounds. So it's part
Only
of
if
the
it's
process.
s'mores, though.
Yeah. So again, I'll stick by my statement. I think most people don't toast them. Well, probably half and half on the toast or not toast, but they are overrated. I'm sticking by that.
All right. Well, I need some viewership help on this one, because I feel like the majority of people toast them, and I don't think there's a lot of people that view Pop Tarts as overrated. Maybe appropriately rated, but Pop Tarts is a good little treat there.
What's that thing your mother used to eat all the time? The toaster strudel? She'd always cook
My
those
mom?
Yeah, your mom.
Yeah, toaster strudel.
Yeah, she would make those every day. So I think those are probably better than a Pop Tart if you ask me. But again, I'm an '80s baby, and Pop Tarts were a big part of our deal. But again, I just think they're overrated. I prefer cereal.
Okay. What's next, Maestro?
All right, next we have Andre Miller, 17-year NBA veteran. Andre Miller was on the All the Smoke podcast, and he shared a story of him going into a chocolate overdose before, or I guess during one of his games. It says Miller indulged in unlimited chocolate from various stations, including peanut, caramel, and mint varieties. And then on the court, during his next game, he barely made it, up and down the court one time. It says,
What do you
and
mean?
he
Did
went
he have,
straight
like,
to the
diarrhea?
locker room. No, and then he ended up going to the hospital and stuff.
How do you have? Can you have chocolate overdose?
Apparently, Andre Miller can.
I thought when you started talking that chocolate overdose was code for something. I didn't know. I didn't know if it was really chocolate. I was like, what are we talking about here? So, how much chocolate do you have to eat to go into overdose? It says your recording stopped. Luke,
God.
we lost the maestro.
Are y'all still going?
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened?
Hold on. Is it still recording?
Yeah.
It says maestro's recording has stopped.
We're still recording total, though.
Yeah. Technical difficulty at 1 minute and 40 seconds, or 1 hour and 40 minutes.
All right, is it good?
I don't know. How will I know? I
I
sound like
think
Whitney Houston. How will I know if Maestro's recording?
we're still recording, right? That's going to be in the.
Oh, no,
episode
don't
now.
clip that. I don't know if you're back on. It's the red dots on your deal.
Yeah,
You're on my
I think I
screen.
am.
Okay.
I put in my other.
Yeah, you're back.
You sound worse, though.
It's all right. We
Me?
can hear you.
Do I sound worse?
Can't hear you.
No, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
It's very low. Go ahead, Maestro. What's the next story? Chocolate overdose, I mean. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, Andre Miller's chocolate overdose.
So what is that? How much chocolate do you have to eat to be overdosed?
So he doesn't really say. I'm just looking at it too, just because I'm curious. But it doesn't exactly say how much. He just said that he ended up. He runs off the court, has to go to the emergency room. Gave him morphine, and he slept for like 2 days. Like he literally got food poisoning from all the chocolate he was eating.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been fat a lot, but I don't think I've ever been close to that. I mean, even at my heaviest, I don't think I could overdose on chocolate. So that's got to be something, man. It's like every 10 seconds you're eating a piece of chocolate. That's wild. And Andre Miller, for all the chocolate he's eaten, he's never been out of shape.
No.
I guess he's burning all those calories, but that is a wild story. I never knew you could have chocolate overdose. But we do need to figure out how much he ate to get to that point.
Yeah. Too much of anything is a bad thing.
What about too much of the Dead Jeff show? Is that a bad thing?
Well, no, that might be the only exception to the rule. Never
Okay.
enough.
All right.
Never enough
All
Dead
right.
Jeff show.
Just checking. All right. What's the last story, Maestro?
I was looking to see if there's a chocolate limit.
You're very quiet, Maestro, and technically, I don't know what we're gonna do about that.
Is this better?
No, it's the same. But let's just go to that last story. If the people out there can hear you.
Okay, the last story is a Lakers Luka story. It's not really funny, but it's kind of interesting that a lot of Lakers fans are getting very upset with Luka's performance on defense, and it's like, no duh.
Been
Like,
there, done that.
what?
Who would have thunk it?
Okay. Listen, Luka doesn't play defense.
No.
All of us in Dallas know that. It's why your boy Nico Harrison wanted to make the trade because of the finals where it was Ole defense from Doncic that really drove it over the hump, and the fact that he wouldn't stay conditioned here in Dallas. But nobody on earth thinks Luka is good at defense. I think what they have a problem now is LeBron coming back and mucking up their offense. And now we don't know how that they're all out of rhythm. But I think it's hilarious that Laker fans are now going, Luka needs to play defense. I hear Skip Bayless all the time talking about Luka being overrated, and he points to this side of the ball. I just think it's hilarious that this is why Nico traded him, and then the big reason why he traded him. And then now the Laker fans are like, hey, he doesn't play any defense. What's going on here?
Yeah.
That's a minority, right? It's not a majority of people hating on Luka's defense, is it?
I mean, it's a pretty heavy number. Like, it's a pretty big, like, if you just kind of do the,
It's enough for
like,
them
one
to
of my
make a
favorite things
story
to do
about
is
it.
to look at the,
I
what are
can't hear
people
Luka at
saying?
all.
If you look at like what people are saying right now, one of the things that you'll see a lot is especially after these recent Lakers games, just how bad they are defensively. There was a great compilation cut of like just the terrible, and it wasn't just Luka, in fairness to Luka, but man, there were so many bad defensive plays of like guys just seemingly not even trying. I'm not gonna say it as a matter of fact, but yeah, it seems like that's something. And then JJ Redick did not help at all with his post game news conference, where he's basically just called them all a bunch of lazy prima donnas. So, I mean, look, I think as the non-Dallas fan, Mavericks fan living in Dallas, I know this is something that had been talked about even when they were on the finals run, right? Like, even when the Mavericks were at their best under Luka, you know, it's that interesting thing where Nico went and built a team around Luka purposefully to counter this exact thing. He can't play defense. And it's why the Mavericks are such a strong defensive team.
Well, we're because lately we can't play defense very well. And I don't want to get into Mavs talk, but if you look around the NBA, the scoring's way up this year. And defense is kind of an issue a lot of places, maybe except for San Antonio and Oklahoma City. But defense is a problem. I mean, the Mavericks lost to Sacramento, and you see what they were shooting from 3-point range against the Mavericks. It's just like I think it's an epidemic going throughout the league. But this is not news about Luka. So Laker fans, that just shows you what oblivion they've been living in their Laker world, not understanding. You know, hey, they just see when Luka comes to town and plays good against them. It's the day in, day out hasn't even been half a season, and they're already upset about the defense he's playing. I think that's hilarious. And what are they going to do? I mean, it's not like they're going to trade him. So good on you, LA Laker fans, for now noticing Luka doesn't play defense. Is that it, Maestro?
That's it.
Yeah, I don't know why my mic's is it working now, or?
I can hear you, but it's a big delay and you sound quiet. So
I'm
hopefully
practically
all that
making
came
out
through.
with the mic right now.
What?
I said I'm practically making out with the mic right now, so I don't really know.
Hey, what you do in your personal time is your business.
This is
But
not
on
personal
the Dead Jeff
time.
show,
This is not personal time.
Dude, you can't talk over us because you have a delay. We can't barely hear you.
This is
So-
not personal time. I'm on the clock for free right now.
Oh, well. All right. Well, that's a very low beat to hit to end the Maestro through the news. Maestroing through the news. We got to figure out a name for this that's better than what we're talking about. But hopefully we can get Luke's mic fixed. But listen, that's going to wrap up the Dead Jeff Show episode 15. Is that right?
Yep.
Episode 15. We thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share the videos, comment on the videos. If you think Indiana sucks, if you think the Cowboys suck, you can go ahead and comment. But let's do it with some respect, a little bit, okay? We appreciate the interaction online. And listen, we also do a WWE show that we film on Tuesdays, and we're excited about that. So catch that if you haven't. Thank you for being a part of this show. All we do is strive to get better on each show, and we thank you for those that stayed with us since episode 1. But for you guys being a part of this and a part of this one, we thank you. And until the next one, peace.